let's see. We have 0, 1 as the first two numbers in a particular sequence. Tapos, once you add 0, 1, you will have 1, 1. Okay? So, this is, each subsequent number is the sum of the previous two, the recurrence relation. Okay? So, 1 plus 1, nating susunod na makukuha. 1, 1, 2. So, when you add 1 and 1, you will get 2. So, once you continue doing adding the next two numbers, so, na-expect natin dito 1 plus 2, you will get 3. Okay? So, ito yon. As you go on and proceed. Okay. So, there is this particular sequence na ina-add natin from 0, 1, or yung 0 kasi is hindi natin po na-consider particularly as the first number. So, the first number here, we have the 1. 1, 1, you get 2. 1, 2, you get 3. 2, 3, you get 5. 3 and 5, you will get 8, and so on. So, this particular number sequence is what we call as the natural sequence and is referred to as the Fibonacci number sequence. Okay? So, ito yung natural sequence na sinasabi na nasa nature yung sequence na to, na everywhere is we have the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, so the sequence that I showed to you a while ago is a sequence which was introduced by Leonardo Pisano Bigolo. Usually, pag sinabing pinangalanan yung isang number, pangalan yun ng isang mathematician, no? Pero ngayon, hindi Bigolo's number or hindi Bigolo's sequence ang tawag, kundi Fibonacci. Kasi si Fibonacci, yun ang kanyang nickname. Okay, nickname niya ni Leonardo Pisano Bigolo. He is one of the best-known mathematicians sa medieval Europe during the medieval time. So, European yung ating mathematician na to. And noong 1202, no, after his trip sa Arab and the Eastern countries, during that time kasi, yung mga numbers na, are you familiar with Roman numerals? Ito yung paggamit ng I, ng V. So usually, sa time nila, yes, Roman, sa Europe, no? Yung number system nila is the use of Roman number system. Okay, kaya lang itong si Leonardo Pisano Bigolo ay privileged to have several trips sa Arab and Eastern countries. Sa UAE, for example, no? At saka sa mga Asian countries. So, may sinulat siyang book. Ang book na yon ay yung Liber Abbasi. So, yun yung tawag, no? Sa kanyang libro. Okay. So, in his book, sa book na yan, in-explain niya kung bakit yung Hindu-Arabic numeration. Yung Hindu-Arabic numeration ay yung number natin ngayon na 1, 2, 3. So, yun yung tawag, Hindu-Arabic number system natin. And he has learned it during his travel, and he found out that this is more sophisticated and efficient system rather than the Roman numeral system. Mas madali silang intindihin. Imagine ninyo, isulat ang 1,000,000 using the Roman numeral system. Medyo may kinakalculate ka pa at the back of your mind for you to be able to read, no, yung 1,000,000 in Roman numeral system. Pero since sanay tayo sa mga Arabic numeration, again, Arabic numeration, ito yung paggamit natin ng mga digits na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and thank to the Arab people, no, for introducing this system. So, sa kanyang libro, so, he created the he's very concerned with the birth rate of the rabbits. So, na-observe niya yung birth rate ng rabbits. And, eto, pakita ko kung ano yung fascination niya during that time. The original problem na inimbestigahan ni Fibonacci ay yung mga rabbits na to. So, ang ano niya, investigation niya, gaano daw kabilis mag-breed in an ideal circumstances ang rabbit. Pag sinabing ideal circumstances, ito yung walang namamatay, no? Na consistent yung panganganak. So, ano yung sequence, ano yung, gaano kabilis magparami ang mga rabbits. So, on your left, the first column, you will see yung start of the nth month. Pang ilang buwan, no? So, makikita mo yung bilang ng buwan sa left side. Then, yung naka-color blue, ito naman yung ilang pair ng rabbit ang meron na sa isang per month, no? Tapos, yung other picture, yung nasa right side, ito yung mga picture ng rabbit. So, here's the investigation of Fibonacci. So, suppose daw, sa unang buwan, in the first month, that is yung first level sa taas, no? Meron tayong newborn pair of rabbits. Bagong panganak. Meron tayong dalawang pares ng rabbits, no? One male and one female. So, sabi nga natin, ideal circumstances. So nilagay sila sa isang field. So, after 1 month, yung rabbit na yan, magmamature. Okay? So, look at the second line. Month number 2, ilang pair of rabbits do we have? We still have 1 pair of rabbits. Tama ba? Kasi yung maliliit, nag-mature lang. Nasundan ba yon? Okay, so from the newborn rabbits, we have the mature rabbits, and since they are already mature, they are capable of mating and having another newborn. Okay, so after 1 month, manganganak ng isang pares yung mature rabbits natin. Okay, so sa 3rd month, meron na tayong 2 pairs of rabbit. So, isang mature na pair at isang newborn pairs. Tama ba? So, makikita nyo maliit yung rabbit na isa. Kasi baby pa lang sila. So, after 1 month, yung maliliit na rabbit magmamature. Okay? So, makikita nyo sa 4th row natin, meron na tayong yung newborn magiging mature. Tapos, yung mature rabbit, yung pinakaunang mature rabbit, nanganak ulit ng isa pang pair. Okay? So, tapos yung anak niya dati, nag-mature na. So, parang ganun yung magiging pattern. Yung mature, magkakaanak ng isang pares. Yung baby, tatanda, magmamature after 1 month. So, ganun yung naging sequence. So, dun sa 4th row natin, sa pang-4 na buwan, meron na tayong 3 pairs of rabbits. Sa pang-5 buwan, meron na tayong 5 pairs of rabbits. So, yung mature, nagkaanak ng isang pares. Yung baby rabbits natin, nag-mature. Tapos, yung isang mature, nagstay siya at nagkaroon siya ng isa pang newborn. So, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng 5 pairs of rabbits. And so on and so forth. Ganon daw yung nakita niyang sequence as he looked into the number of pairs of rabbits can na mapoproduce in an ideal circumstances. Again, ideal, considering walang namatay, continuous ang panganganak. Okay? So, yan yung tinignan ni Leonardo Pisano-Bigolo or Fibonacci. No? So, the number of pairs of rabbits in the field at the start of each month, so you will see, tignan nyo na yung naka-blue. We have 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, then, and so on. And these numbers are the Fibonacci sequence. So, ito yung mga yan. So when n is 1, pag yung una, or first number is 1, second number is 2, second number is 1, the third number is 2, the fourth number is 3, the fifth number is 5, the sixth number is 8, and so on. So, ito yung list. So, first 14 terms in the Fibonacci sequence. At may rule ang ating Fibonacci sequence. Again, it is adding. na 2 consecutive numbers for you to get the next number in the sequence. That's why the rule is this one. X sub n is equal to x sub n minus 1 plus x sub n minus 2. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng formula na to? So when we have x sub n, ito yung pang hinahanap nating number of terms. Let's say for example, x sub 8. So yung n natin dyan is number 8. So ano yung number sa Fibonacci sequence na pang-8 sa listahan? So para makuha daw yan, kukunin mo yung isang number na x sub n minus 1. So, kung ang n natin ay 8, so n minus 1 is 7. Tama ba? So, that's why yung unang number is x sub 7 plus. So, yung susunod na number na i-add natin, yung kasunod, x sub n minus 2. Kung again, n is 8 minus 2, we will have 6. Therefore, para makuha natin yung x sub 8, kailangan nating i-add yung x sub 7 at saka x sub 6. Pang-8, pang-7 at pang-6 ang i-add natin para makuha ang pang-8. Nakuha ba yon? So, yun yung ibig sabihin lang ng rule na yan. So, nakasulat lang siya into formula. Pero, sa mga hindi, kung hindi mo i-work out itong formula, ang pinakasimpleng gawin mo lang, i-add mo lang yung dalawang magkasunod na number. Diba? Ganun lang naman yung logic ni Fibonacci sequence. Okay. So, specific example, ito, another example. If our n is 9, we have x sub 9. X sub n minus 1, we have x sub 9 minus 1. Tapos plus x sub n minus 2, that is x sub n, x sub 9 minus 2. And that is 8 and 7. X sub 8 and x sub 7. So, looking into the table, ano ba yung x sub 8? Ano ba yung number sa x sub 8 at x sub 7? That is 21 and 13. Therefore, yung pang 9th term sa Fibonacci sequence is 34. Okay? So, again, that is simply the rule for the Fibonacci sequence. Okay, later on, we will have more about the Fibonacci number, but let me introduce now the next term, that is the golden ratio. Okay, for the golden ratio, pag sinabi nating ratio, ito yung number na merong is to, 1 is to 2, 3 is to 4. Let's say, for example, ilan daw yung computers sa isang classroom? Tapos, ilan na makakagamit? Pag sinabi natin 2 is to 1, ibig sabihin, 2 estudyante, isang computer. Mga ganon. Ang tawag natin doon ratio. Kaya, ano ang ratio ng babae at lalaki sa loob ng classroom? Pwedeng 1 is to 3. Isang lalaki, 3 babae. Yung mga ganyan. Kaya, isang babae, 3 lalaki. So, that's a ratio of the number of students inside the classroom. So, ano pa ba yung mga ratio natin? Gaano karami ang sugar at sugar and flour, harina na ilalagay sa isang ingredient. Pwedeng 3 tablespoon of sugar sa 4 na cups of flour. So, meron tayong 3 is to 4. Okay? 3 tablespoon is to 4 cups of something. Ang tawag natin doon ratio. Okay? So, sabi dyan, physical attraction depends on ratio. So, yun daw attraction natin with something, no? Physically is depends on ratio. Ibig sabihin, na-attract tayo kapag maganda yung ratio niya, no? And particularly, yung proportion. Masasabi daw natin na maganda ang isang bagay kapag tama yung proportion niya. So, pag tama yung balanse ng length ng katawan o kaya ng layo ng mata sa forehead, for example. Okay. So, ayan, proportion ang tawag natin doon. No? We are more likely to notice someone's face and find it beautiful if it is more proportional. Okay. Same also with other things. Kapag sinabi natin proportional siya, we find it pleasing. No? We find it beautiful. Pag naman sinabi natin proportional in mathematics, we are referring to equality of ratio. Okay? So, kapag yung dalawang ratio ay equal, for example, 1 is to 2, no? Is equal to 2 is to 4. So, yung dalawang yan ay proportion. So, the one that I typed into the chat box. Or, in mathematics, we write this as 1 is to 2 equals 2 is to 4. So, this is an example of a statement written in proportion. Okay? So, para masabi nating proportion yan, I hope you are looking into the chat box for you to see that these are proportion kapag equal yung product ng nasa inner at saka ng outer. So, yung outer natin is 1 and 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So, when the means is equal to the product of the means is equal to the product of the extremes, then we have proportion. Okay? So, ayan, basic concept yan sa ating mathematics way back in elementary and high school, yung ratio and proportion. Okay, so, ito yun. Nabanggit yung term na proportion kasi it has something to do with the yung concept na ratio and proportion, which has something to do with the golden ratio. Okay. So, furthermore, we will have this during the ancient time daw, no? Not really ancient pala. During the Renaissance time, yung mga paintings ni Leonardo da Vinci, so yung drawing niya about human body emphasize proportion. So, yung ratio of the following distances is what we call as the golden ratio. In the painting of or drawing of Leonardo da Vinci, so yung daw foot to navel, yung distance mula foot hanggang sa navel, foot paa hanggang sa pusod ay may golden ratio doon sa mula sa navel, mula sa pusod hanggang sa head. Okay? So, ano ba tong golden ratio na sinasabi natin? Okay. So, itong golden ratio na to ay yung ratio of the consecutive numbers wherein we have the same ratio of the sum. Two quantities are in a golden ratio of if their ratio is the same as the ratio of the sum of the larger two quantities. Okay. For us to understand it clearly, ito na lang. Okay, yung next slide ko na lang. Okay, tignan ninyo yung figure. Meron tayong symbol na A, tsaka B, tapos A plus B. So, yung A dyan is the longer part ng whole segment, no? So, longer part si A, short part si B. So, yung buong part ay yung A plus B. Kapag pinagsama mo si A at saka B, yun yung kabuuan. Okay. So, yung ratio daw, the long part divided by the short part is equal to the whole length, A plus B, divided by the long part, which is A. So, kapag ginawa daw natin yung proportion na to, you will actually have the value 1.618 and that is equal to the golden ratio. Okay. In short, yung 1.618 na yan is actually our golden ratio. Yun yung value na makukuha natin kapag ginawa natin yung ganitong klase ng proportion. Okay? So, let me leave that for a while and babalikan natin yung value ng 1.618. Let me relate it first dito sa ating Fibonacci number. So, yung actually, yung unang dalawang numbers sa Fibonacci is 1 and 1. Tama ba? 1, 1, 2. So, if we divide 1 and 1, So, we will get 1 divided by 1, we will get 1. Tama ba? So, tapos, ito yung dalawang kasunod. 2, ang formula dyan, 2 divided by 3, that is equal to 1.5. So, yan na yung number na nakukuha natin. So, again, 2 divided by 3, you will get 1.5. 3 divided by 5, you will get 1.666 and so on. Then, 5 divided by 8, you will get 1.6. 8 divided by 3, you will get 1.625. And kapag kinontinue pa daw natin yung process, umabot na tayo sa number 144 and 233. Kapag dinivide mo si 144 and 233, what you will get is this number. 1.6180555. Okay? Then if you will proceed further, 233 divided by 377, halos ganun na rin yung itsura ng nakukuha natin. Okay? Diba similar ang 1.6180? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Okay.
Opo, ma'am.
So, again, itong nakukuha nating ratio na yan, itong value na 1.6180 something, no, is actually our golden ratio. Okay? It is an irrational number which is generally rounded off to 1.618. So, kapag daw dinidivide natin yung dalawang consecutive number ni Fibonacci number, yan, palapit ng palapit siya dito sa golden ratio. Okay? Medyo malayo siya sa 1, 1 kasi 1 divided by 1 is 1. No? Pero habang papunta na tayo sa malalaking numbers, very close na siya. Nag-i-stay na siya sa 1.618. So, yun yung gusto kong ipakita sa previous slide. So, by the way, it is an irrational number. Pag sinabi natin irrational number, unending, walang katapusan yung decimal digits natin. Actually, yung 1.618, ito lang yung first 3 decimal digits, yung 618. Pero kung titignan mo sa malaking calculator, ito ang first 2,000 digits ng golden ratio natin. Okay? Imagine, hindi naman natin i-memorize lahat ng yan. Diba? Kukunin lang natin, i-round off lang natin. Pero again, yung konsepto ng irrational numbers kasi unending. Walang non-terminating, hindi natatapos yung decimal natin. So, ayan. So, for discussion purposes, para magamit natin si golden ratio, lalo na kung wala tayong malaking calculator na magagamit para makuha yung actual value ni golden ratio. Let us use the first 10 digits. Okay? So, automatic, pwede nating maibigay, madalian. Ano ang golden ratio? Pwede mong sabihin, that is approximately 1.618. Pero for our calculation, sa mga next part ng ating discussion, I want you to make use of the first 10 decimals. Ito yon, 1.61803, 39887. Yan yung gagamitin natin. So, bakit ko nire-require na mas maraming decimal digits? Para mas, close, no? Mas malapit yung maging sagot natin kapag ni-round off natin ang isang number. Okay? I would like you to understand na kapag nagra-round off tayo ng isang number, hindi natin nakukuha yung actual value. Tama ba? Estimate na lang siya kasi ni-round off mo na siya. So, para mas malapit yung actual value na makuha natin, gamitin natin yung mas maraming decimal digits. Okay? Sa final answer lang tayo talaga nagbibigay ng short digits, mga 2 decimal or 3 decimal digits. Pero during the calculation, I suggest, no, kahit anong area ng pinag-aaralan ninyo, make use of a larger or larger number of digits pag decimal ang usapan. Okay, anyway, I hope I made that clear. And before I proceed, yung tawag natin dito sa symbol na to is phi. No? It is a Greek letter phi. So yung phi na to is a symbol that we represent for the golden ratio. Tulad lang siya ng pi, dun sa 3.1416. So, yun, meron silang mga Greek letters representative. Okay, so eto. There is another formula na we can relate into the golden ratio. So, kung ika-calculate nyo to sa inyong calculator, so 1 plus the square root of 5, then you divide that by 2, ang makukuha mo is something closer to 1.618. Yan. So, if you have a calculator beside you, you can try the formula 1 plus square root of 5 over 2 is very close to the value of the golden ratio. So, ginagamit yung formula na to to represent the value of the golden ratio. Okay. So, ayan, please keep those items or numbers in mind. Itong value ng golden ratio, including this. Kamaya, magagamit natin yan. Next, there is the concept of golden rectangle. So, sinasabi, geometrically, ito ang itsura ng golden ratio. It can also be visualized as a rectangle perfectly formed by a square and another rectangle which can be repeated infinitely inside each section. So kapag nakakakita kayo ng ganitong figure, it represents the golden ratio. So, ayan yan. And again, this figure was created using the Fibonacci sequence. So, in short, ito siya. So, mga rectangles, then you will form squares. Ayan. Ayan. So, yan yung figure natin, spiral. So, ano ba yung mga spiral na nakikita natin in nature? No? Yung Milky Way, spiral. Yung Katol, spiral. Ano pa ba? In nature, tapos Katol, eh. No? Kapag may bagyo, diba? Yung movement ng wind natin, ng mga clouds, spiral din yan. So, those are the things na following the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. Okay. That we see in nature. Okay. Anyway, let me proceed. Okay. Again, I made mention of the rectangle. So, the golden rectangle is where the length and the width of the rectangle are in the golden ratio. So this means that the length is approximately 1.618 times the width. So para masabi natin golden rectangle siya, dapat yung proportion, or sorry, yung ratio ng length at saka width ay very close sa 1.618. Okay. So let me proceed. So, before yung mga calculations, dito muna tayo sa mga common na nakikita na may implications or connection with the golden ratio and Fibonacci number. So, there is this person, Amber Heard, no, which is said to have parang beautiful face, no? Kasi beautiful face siya, kino-consider kasi yung proportion ng mukha niya ay very close sa golden ratio. Ito yan. When they calculated the proportion of the face, yung layo ng noo, sa mata, sa ilong, sa bibig, no? They have found out that Amber Heard's face was found to be 91.85% accurate to the Greek golden ratio of beauty phi, which for thousands of years was thought to hold the formula of perfection. So, hindi visible yung term na formula of perfection. Okay. Kasi noong unang panahon, ang paggamit ng golden ratio, yun yung basis nila for beauty, for perfection. So, even beauty experts nowadays, they will look into the proportion of your face based on the golden ratio para masabi natin maganda yung mukha, no? So, I think sa ating mga local celebrities, isa doon si si Lisa Soberano at saka si Jeneline Mercado. Parang, I heard something about their beauty sa mga beauty experts. Okay, anyway, so ayan, there are other calculations which have done. If you are familiar with Rihanna, sabi daw yung face ni Rihanna ay 91% accurate sa golden ratio. Ibig sabihin, maganda yung proportion ng mukha. Si Amber, tignan nyo yung nose niya, 99.7%. So, the reason why I'm showing this to you is for you to see the application of the golden ratio in different areas. First area natin dito yung beauty. So, we look physical beauty, physical attraction using the golden ratio. Okay? Next, in terms of architecture, no, the work of the people in Greece, no, they are very specific with the golden ratio. No? Many buildings and artworks in Greece have the golden ratio in them. No? Pag ginagawa nila siguro yung sketch ng building, they are making into the golden ratio, particularly having the proportion of the golden rectangle. And this is such as the example is the Parthenon. That's Parthenon, nahulog yung isang N. Okay, Parthenon yan. And it is found in Greece. It is not actually known if it was designed that way, pero upon looking into the image of the Parthenon, dun sa software that calculate the golden ratio, they have found out that this building has that golden ratio in it. Another popular building which was completed in the which was done in 1100s at natapos ng 1345 is the Notre Dame in Paris, France. So I think I hope you are familiar with this. If you have heard the news, hindi ako nagkakamali, ito yung nasunog, no? At kaya nag-grieve yung mga tao sa France because this building is very essential to them. May symbol in terms of spiritual at saka architectural and historical. Kasi sobrang tagal na ng building na to. Tapos biglang nasunog. But anyway, looking into it, it is using also the golden ratio. No? Meron din siyang connection sa golden ratio. So, ayan. And another, about paintings, yung work ni Leonardo da Vinci, di ba meron na akong pinakita kanina yung sketch niya ng body. Tapos ngayon, itong work din niya, I think Leonardo da Vinci is fascinated with the golden ratio. Kasi yung mga works niya, laging merong presence ng golden ratio. So, ang tawag nila dati, doon sa proportion na to, yung ratio na yan, at kapag kinonnect with another ratio, they call it as the divine proportion. During their time, they call it divine proportion. So, the Last Supper were based on the golden ratio, which was known in the Renaissance period as the divine proportion. So, ayan. Then we have the Mona Lisa. Sinasabi meron ding presence of golden ratio. Yung part ng yung work ng Mona Lisa. Actually, paano ba yan? I don't know if you have seen a painter doing the sketch ng kanyang canvas. Usually, mga pa lang yan, mga lines pa lang yan, mga strokes pa lang yan. And usually, ginagawa nila yung mga lines kung saan magpo-fall yung isang object to another object. Basically, doon, if you are fascinated with the golden ratio, with the divine proportion na sinasabi, you might have that in the canvas, dun sa draft niya. Okay, so we have example about beauty, we have example about architecture and paintings. We have also things that we see in nature which has the golden ratio and again the presence of the Fibonacci number. yung mga spiral, makikita mo, very evident kapag meron siyang spiral. Okay, plants can grow new cells in spiral, such as the pattern that you see dito sa ating sunflower seed, no? Yung nasa gitna. Okay, the spiral happens naturally because each new cell is formed after a turn. So, ayan, isang image that we see around na merong golden ratio is sunflower. Meron din ang pine cones at saka pineapple ng presence ng Fibonacci sequence or again related to the golden ratio. And also we have the snail shell, no, na meron ding presence ng golden ratio. Okay, so those are some things that we see around. No, we just need to show that to you for you to see kung ano yung implication or application ng ating Fibonacci number and the golden ratio. So, ayan. And ito na yung technical part. We will be calculating the Fibonacci number using the golden ratio. No? Again, yung pag-calculate natin, ano ang isang daang Fibonacci number? Siyempre, hindi mo naman i-add 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 8, 13, 21. Hindi mo na gagawin yun, di ba? So, what you will do is to use the formula. And we have the Binet's formula in determining the Fibonacci number. No? And here is the formula. Okay, please take note of the formula. The f of n here means the Fibonacci number of the nth term. Then we have the phi raised to n. Again, yung phi is our golden ratio minus the quantity of 1 minus the phi. Again, phi is the golden ratio raised to n all over the square root of 5. Okay. Kung natatandaan nyo pa kanina, di ba ang sabi natin sa phi, it is approximately the 1 plus square root of 5 over 2. Ito yung kanina. At kapag kinalculate mo yan, that is very close to the value of the golden ratio. So here, so mula dito sa formula natin, isa-substitute natin yung value ng phi to the formula of phi. That is, every phi there was substituted with 1 plus the square root of 5 over 2. So, ayan, substitution lang ang ginawa natin for that second part of the formula. Okay? So, how are we going to use this? Are you copying? Okay, sige. Copy it first. I'm not sure if everyone's are still here, but I appreciate those whose camera are open. So, at least alam ko may kausap ako. See, is this Jaylene? We have Kat, no? And Marie. Ano, Marie lang nakikita ko kasi. Yan, Regine. Yan. So, consistent kanina, no? Naka-open. At least alam ko may kausap ako. But I understand some of you are saving their data. Kaya, ano na lang, honesty na lang tayo na nandyan talaga kayo. No? Okay, anyway, I hope you have copied this. Next, let us try using the formula. Hanapin natin yung f of 6. Actually, kung titignan mo, f of 6, yung pang-anim na number sa Fibonacci number ay 8. Madali lang natin ma-identify. Kahit hindi mo gamitin yung formula, makukuha mo. Pero for the simplicity muna ng presentation natin, gamitin muna natin yung pinakamababa. Or isa sa mga mabababa. Hindi pala siya pinakamababa. Okay. So, again, yan yung formula natin. Lahat ng n, papalitan natin ng 6. Okay? Kasi ang hinahanap natin yung pang-anim. Okay? So, f of 6 is equal to phi raised to 6 minus 1, the quantity of 1 minus phi and of the quantity raised to 6 all over square root of 5. So that is the formula that we have now as we substitute 6 to the value of n. Okay? So kung gagamitin natin yung representation ng square root, yung phi is equal to 1 plus square root of 5 over 2, ganyan yung itsura. Pinalitan lang natin ng 1 plus square root of 5 over 2 yung phi. Tapos, ganun pa rin naman. Okay? Pero, kung ayaw nyong gawin yun, iritado kayo na makita ito. Kasi ang daming sinusulat, di ba? Okay? If you can skip this by doing this. The next portion. Pwedeng ang automatic nating i-substitute ay yung value mismo ng phi. Okay? So, that is, again, we will use the first 10 decimal digits of phi. Okay? So, phi is equal to 1.6180339887. Yun yung una nating gagawin. Nakakasunod kung anong nangyari sa third line ng formula? Okay. So, again.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay. So, ganito pala magturo ng math online, no? Ang hirap din, ha? Hindi ko ma-emphasize yung, kung nasa board lang yan, talagang ina-underline mo na kung ano yung ina-emphasize natin. Okay. Anyway, so yung phi, again, is substituted to its value, that is 1.6180339887. Actually, as you practice working on it, mamememorize mo rin yung 10 digits na yan. Okay, why am I using the 10 digits again? I'm using it kasi for us to get the closer value. No? Sinubukan ko itong i-calculate. Pwede nyo siyang i-try. Subukan yung i-calculate yung value ng Fibonacci. I-calculate yung Fibonacci number gamit yung 1.618. Tapos makikita nyo sobrang layo sa actual score. So, pwede kayong mag-experiment. Tapos, ginamitan ko siya ng 10 digits and I got the closest value. Para maging accurate yung sagot. Anyway, you can explore that on your own. Okay, so let me proceed. I hope you were able to copy it already. So, ang naging change lang dito sa fourth row ng ating formula ay yung quantity sa numerator, yung ikalawa. Sinubtract ko lang yung 1 minus 1.61803398887. So, kaya ang sagot naging ganun, negative 0.6180339887. I hope you saw that. Okay? Sa fourth row, ang nagbago na lang dyan, yung second quantity natin, sinubtract ko na. Okay? And the value is a negative number. So, ayan. 10 all over 5. Next. As you do this, kapag pinerform nyo na yan, diretso sa calculator ninyo, so you will have, i-enter nyo lang yung 1.61803398887 raised to 6. No? Get the answer, then minus the quantity of, yan, negative 0.6180339887 raised to 6. Okay. If you are not familiar in using your calculator, pag hindi kayo sanay sa paggamit ng calculator, ang pwede nyong gawin ay yung isa-isahin nyo by parts. Hahaba yung solution niyo. Kasi ang gagawin nyo muna, sasagutin nyo muna yung unang part, no? Bago diretso. Kasi yung iba, pag hindi marunong sa paggamit ng calculator, iba yung sagot na makukuha ninyo. Okay, dapat gumagamit kayo ng quantity. So, again, If you are not familiar in using it, gawin niyo muna by parts ang solution niyo. But I hope you are getting the value. F of 6 is approximately 8.0498444718. And if you round off this, you will get 8. And 8 is actually the 6th number in the Fibonacci sequence. Okay? So, ayan. Medyo madali pa sa F of 6. Okay? What if I ask you to have the F of 40? Diba, sobrang layo na yon mula dun sa ano natin. Pwera na lang kung titiisin ninyo na i-add yung mga numbers up to the 40th term. Okay. Pero again, here's the formula. Okay. Gagamitin natin yung original formula. Papalitan lang natin yung n sa 40. Okay. So, tapos, tulad din yung kanina. Substitute lang natin yung value ng phi ng golden ratio sa 1.618, 0.3398887, then raise it to 40. Okay? Tapos yung shortcut natin na sinubtract na natin yung 1 minus 1.6, ang haba nito, no? 180339887 is just the negative of that number, negative of 0.618 and so on. Raised to 40. I hope nasusundan yung portion na to. If you miss something, you can always go back to our presentation since recorded naman ang ating discussion. Okay. And approximately, this is 102,334,154.9. Okay. Tingnan ninyo yung 0.9. Pag renound off natin to, yung 4 magiging 5 siya. And kung titignan mo sa, upon checking, no, titignan mo kung ano yung actual value ng Fibonacci number na pang 40th, ang sagot dyan is 102,334,155. Very close siya sa actual value. Okay? At nung actually, ginawa ko ito, trinay ko siya using only 1.618. Ang nakuha kong sagot ay 1022 something. Hindi na siya 1023. Diba ang layo na? Mahigit 100,000, 100,000 ang difference. Kasi ginamit ko ay yung shorter decimal value. Okay? So, ayun yung gusto kong i-emphasize mula kanina. The bigger or the larger decimal digits that we use, the more or the closer that we will get the actual value. Okay. So again, this is the value for the 40th term in the Fibonacci sequence. Okay. Then I also have, okay, I see. Yes, yung final answer, i-round off nyo kasi yung, thank you sa question ni Danica, no? Yung final answer should be rounded off to whole number kasi ang Fibonacci number ay whole number. Okay? Normal kasi na nakakakuha tayo ng decimal kasi nga meron tayong decimal value. Pero yung final Fibonacci number is the whole number. Okay? Thank you, Danica, for that question. That's a good question, which I forgot to mention. Okay. So, ayun, F25, ganun din. Papalitan mo lang din ng 25. Bibilisan ko lang ito ng konti. Yung N, naging 25 lang. So, if you notice yung itsura ng first 4 rows natin, pare-pareho lang. It's just the difference of N. Okay? So, if you calculate the F of 25, you will get this value, 75,024. 0.99994. Okay? But the actual